What a great time to be alive, brothers and sisters of the chapter. This is Sprues and Studs, and the blessings of Sanguinius and JoyToy and the Games Workshop just keep raining down upon us, that I am completely thankful of what's going on. It is a great time to live. But anyways, let's focus in on the task at hand, which is to review more Blood Angels Terminators. In this particular video, we are going to be diving into the nitty-gritty in reviewing the Lightning Clawed Blood Angels Assault Terminator Sergeant. And without further ado, let's get to the review.
Time to get ferocious. Love it when Christmas comes early. Ta-da!
Would you look at this space vampire over here? He's really badass looking and quite intimidating, as you can see his fangs right here. So before I actually dive into this review, I'm going to pick up this action figure right here. I'll have to let you know that there is a certain amount of heft on this action figure. It almost reminds me of a McFarlane action figure. When you're picking it up, there is a definite weight on this thing. So that's one thing that I'll say in general about this. The second in general that I'm going to point out to you, that I've mentioned in prior videos before, is that people have lamented that there is a departure of the shading from these action figures, but I'll have to say that that's very far off from the truth. So I'm going to point out to you right now is that you actually do get to see shading here on these armor panels. The shading has not gone away. So fear not, folks. It's just that I think that the shading is a little bit more subtle than it used to be. So anyways, with that being said, let's jump into this review. So this Sergeant has this gigantic icon that's sitting on top of his Terminator armor, and it is the icon that you also find on the Thunderhammer Storm Shield Sergeant as well. So once again, this is of a Blood Angels priest with a robe. He's holding this blood chalice with this awesome, very glorious wing that is protruding out. And you see, again, there is prominent shading that's going on all over the place. Within these recesses on these wings is where you can see the shading. One thing I also point out to you on top here is a triple metallic blood tier that pervades throughout the whole entire Blood Angels Terminator line. And let's just take a look at the face region on this action figure. So of all the Terminators, this is the only one that has a bare head, and it is actually very nice looking, to be honest with you. So this Sergeant has a shock of yellow hair that's been heavily shaded. You can see this bionic eye here that is silver in color, and the lens is of a green color. And then taking a look at the Sergeant's eye itself, you actually get to see this like glint here, and it looks like the whites of his eyes really aren't that white. It is of a very dark color. What's really cool is that you can see his fangs here like Dracula. And then within the recesses of this action figure, you get to see plenty of shading. So let's take a look at the right pauldron. And the right pauldron is something that we have seen before. The Thunderhammered Sergeant variant has the same pauldron right here. So there is obviously a gigantic gold winged blood tier. So within these areas here, more heavy shading. And then this blood tier is a glorious metallic red color, as you can see over here. It's highly glossy, it jumps out. And flipping around to the left side is your Crux Terminatus. Once again, dark gray color that's been highlighted up in these areas. And there is an immaculately painted eye socket and nasal cavity. So we're going to move on to the Heraldic Shield, which is a gigantic winged blood tier. So within these wings, very, very nicely done highlights. And obviously, since this is a veteran sergeant, he gets special icons as well as banners. So you get to see this flowing fabric right here that's also shaded here. And then Santoro right here has been also heavily shaded. And now progressing to the right lightning claw. Let's see what we have here. So the right lightning claw, as I'm looking in this area, you get to see these same colors that you see on the Grey Knight Terminators. So it's got this nice translucent blue undertone here, and then transitions to this dark gunmetal color. And there is plenty of weathering that's going on too here, and the weathering is done by dry brushing this area a nice light silver. And this lightning claw has a very wide and expansive golden winged blood tier. The inside of this lightning claw, you get to see a banner that says blood, obviously for the Blood Angels. The left lightning claw mimics the same blue undertone that you see right here, although the glove of this particular hand is of a black color, and you can see also more highlighting going on. The only other adornment that is on this lightning claw is of a wreathed blood tier, so you can see the golden wreath right here, and the shading is very prominent. Oh boy. Well, clearly that wasn't supposed to happen. I'll have to glue this area back on. So anyway, in the belt area of this Sergeant, you get to see two purity seals that are running on this side. There is a interesting blood chalice pendant here that I have not seen on any of the Terminator action figures that I have reviewed quite yet. So this is a new accessory. And then a golden wreathed skull is front and center in the middle. And finally, this guy has something that his other brethren does not have, which is a loincloth with a prominent Blood Angels chapter symbol right here. And then rounding out the decorations on this action figure, you get to see a skull on one knee, and then almost like a weird four-leaf clover type thing on this particular knee. I don't know exactly what to call it. On the right shin is obviously a very prominent black and gold winged blood tier. The final thing that we're going to look at is clearly a wreathed skull that's in the back, and that's about it. Okay, let's take a look at the articulation of this action figure, because this guy is a bare-headed action figure. You can actually get 360 degrees of rotation on him. I will demonstrate to you right now very quickly. You also can get 360 degrees of rotation at about the shoulder area. There is no stopping this thing, which is nice. And then the arm area has this other joint here that allows you to flare out the arms like this. The forearm area also has a bunch of things that are going on. You can also get 360 degrees of rotation, which is nice. Like so. The elbow is double jointed, so you can push it in once and then push it again like that. Although this particular lightning claw is kind of blocked by this wing right here. You can also get 360 degrees of rotation about the chest and torso region like this. And then you can also get 360 degrees of rotation about the torso and the waist area. And I will demonstrate to you like so. There you go. And then with the leg area, you can kick it back 90 degrees right here. And then you can also kick it forward 90 degrees. So you can get about 180 degrees of rotation. I'm pretty sure once you remove this armor panel, you can probably do a full 360. The knees mimic the elbows, so you can push it in once like this, and then push it again more like that. This is a closer look at the knee. You get plenty of wobble here about the ankle area. In fact, you can actually turn it 360 degrees, like so, as it pops out. But it's possible to do that. And then the toe also has this stabilization mechanism where you can do more dynamic posing by pushing it up like this. And you can push it back down like that. All right, that is the in-depth review of the Sergeant. Time to close it out. All right, now that we have put the Lightning Clawed Terminator Sergeant in the microscope, what did you all think about it? Do you think that this guy is going to be worth your very hard-earned dollars to procure, or you're just going to say, meh, it is something that I could probably just pass on? Well, I will let you know my opinion. Obviously, you already know what I'm going to say. As I am a Blood Angels fan and fanatic, I'm going to tell you to get this action figure. Why do I say that? Well, for the first thing is, this is the only Blood Angels Terminator with a bare head. And I've said to you 1,000 times before, I love action figures with bare heads. This is exactly where you see all the character. So that is one reason why I think that you should get this guy. The second reason is just because, well, this guy is a sergeant. He actually has more accoutrements and flair compared to his regular lightning clawed brethren. And I think that, once again, this guy definitely captures the regalness and the glory that is of the Blood Angels. So I would have to say that if you're a Blood Angels fan, or if you're just an Assault Terminator fan, this guy is going to be a perfect addition to your collection. So once again, this is your Chapter Master Sprues and Studs. And if you love my presenting style, the way that I go into nitty-gritty detail about these action figures, then please hit that subscribe button, as it helps out the channel very, very much. And once again, I thank you, subscribed brothers and sisters of the chapter. Your support means everything to me. I do appreciate you all, and I do appreciate all the support that you've been giving me as usual. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one.